So welcome everyone for watching. My name is Judith, and for the next 45 minutes we will go through a Vinyasa flow. So if you like to use blocks, then grab two, or maybe any other prop you like to use, a blanket or a bolster. So we start in child's pose. So come down on your mat, wiggling a little bit in your hips, grounding down. And first make it your child's pose. So knees can be wide. Checking in how you feel. Noticing your breath. Noticing your inhale. And noticing your exhale. Feeling your belly breathing against your thighs. And then bring your awareness more inward. And notice, try to sense what you need. Accordingly, a little bit. From here, we're lifting up on our hands and knees, with the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And then we move through cat and cow. So with an exhale, we're rounding the spine, the chin to the chest. And then with an inhale, we're arching the spine, looking forward. Exhale, coming into a cat. And inhale, coming into cow. Exhale, pulling the belly inch into the chest, pressing the mid-spine up. And then inhale, when you lengthen the front body, open your chest. And then exhale, when you lengthen your back body, feel that. And then go maybe for 2 or 3 more rounds on your own pace. So finding the rhythm of your breath. Maybe close your eyes. Do 1 more round. Right, and then from here, let's find a neutral spine. We come into a downward facing dog. So we bring the hands a little bit more forward, spreading all the fingers. We tuck the toes under, lift the knees and reach up. So any movement that feels good in your body. So maybe walking your dog. Bending one knee, pressing the other heel down. Maybe here adding a little bit more hip rotation. So when you bend that one knee, bringing it in front of the other knee. And then find some stillness. So let the heels reach down, they don't have to touch, knees can be bent. Firmly ground into your hands, spread all the fingers, pressing into the index, the knuckles, especially the index fingers. And here also finding a little bit more of an external rotation of the upper arms. Take another breath. From here with your next inhale, lift your right leg up. Take 1 more breath, finding that straight right leg. Left knee can be bent. And then bring the right foot forward all the way. You can give it a lift. And then stay here in your runner's lunge. Take about 2 more breaths. You're welcome to use blocks. And the blocks, they have different settings. We will move a little bit through, with the breath. So you choose your blocks accordingly, and then with an exhale, we bring the hips back, straighten the front leg any amount, and then inhale, we bend the front knee, open the chest, looking forward. Exhale, reaching the hips back, and then inhale, coming forward, open the chest, shoulders draw back. And then do 2 more, move with your breath. Check in how your hips feel. Next time you're forward, stay here, and then let's come into a twist. So maybe a block underneath your left hand, right arm, right shoulder lifts up, finding some length in your spine, shoulders slightly drop back, open the chest. Take one more breath, and release. Bring the hands down, going back to downward facing dog. With your next inhale, lifting your left leg. One more breath, reaching into the heel, keeping the hips leveled. And then coming forward, so all the way forward with your left foot, so the foot lands between the hands. Runner's lunge, either keeping the hands on the ground or choosing the blocks. And then with your breath, so with an exhale, reaching the hips back, straightening the front leg any amount. Inhale, coming forward, opening the chest. And then exhale, reaching back. So go on your own. Move with your breath. Feel how this side is different than the other. Let's do one more round. And take another breath here. Coming into the twist. So bringing the right hand down, the left arm up. Any variation, you can bring the back knee down. Take one more breath. Releasing the hand down. And then from here, let's step forward. Now with an inhale, you're lifting halfway. And then with an exhale, we forward. Two more of these. So inhale, lifting halfway, straight spine. Exhale, forward. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, forward. And then here with an inhale, lifting up all the way. Bring the arms with you. And exhale, hands to your heart. And to your side. Let's move with the breath. Inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Bring the hands down and step back to downward facing dog. Take another breath. Reaching into the hips. With your next inhale, come forward to plank. Shoulders over the hands, tailbone long. With an exhale, reaching back to downward facing dog. Inhale, let's come forward to plank. And then with an exhale, reach back. Now inhale, let's come forward. Stay here for a few breaths. You always can bring the knees down. Tailbone is long. Hugging the legs, reaching into the heels. Now let's bring the knees down and we land on the belly. All the way down. Now if your hands are more forward than your shoulders, glide them a little bit back, spread all your toes, hugging the elbows in. Take another breath here. Before we lift up to a cobra, feel your shoulder blades squeezing and the elbows reaching back. So with an inhale, lifting up into a low cobra, and then with an exhale, coming down. Inhale, lifting up, and then exhale, coming down. Let's do one more. Inhale, lifting up. And then exhale, coming down. Tucking the toes and reaching back to child's pose. Take another breath. You can keep the toes tucked under. And we lift up. Coming to downward facing dog. Take another breath. Now with the next inhale, come forward with your feet, lifting halfway. And then exhale, forward. And then inhale, we're lifting up all the way. And exhale, hands to your heart and to your side. All right. Now we're moving through Sun Salutation C. And I usually like to do the Sun Salutation C
with Ashtanga Pranam, so bringing the knees down and then going up into a Cobra, but you're welcome to modify. So starting in mountain pose, and then with an inhale we're lifting the arms, exhale a forward fold, inhale lifting halfway, exhale we fold, hands down, the right leg back and right knee down, inhale we're lifting up into Anjaneyasana, exhale we bring the hands down and we step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, we come forward to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Ashtanga Pranam, it's a back bend. Inhale, lifting up into Cobra, another back bend. And then exhale, through child's pose, into downward facing dog. Inhale, lifting the right leg. Exhale, bringing the right foot forward all the way. Left knee down. Inhale, lifting up the arms, sinking into the hips. Exhale, bringing the hands down and step forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, hands down, stepping the left leg back, left knee down. Inhale, lifting up into Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands down and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin. Scoop forward into a Cobra with your inhale. And then with an exhale, go back to child's pose into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, bring that left foot forward all the way, right knee down. Inhale, lifting up the arms and we sink into the hips. Exhale, hands down and we step forward. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, you're lifting up all the way. And exhale, hands to your heart and to your side. Take another breath. And then just notice how you feel. Maybe closing your eyes, feeling the length. Lengthen your spine, lifting the chest, grounding into your feet. And we keep moving. So inhale, lifting up the arms. Exhale, a forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Up into a Cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. And then take 3 breaths. Steady breath. So checking in, making it yours. Maybe even you come forward into child's pose. Taking 1 more breath. And then with your next inhale, lifting your right leg. Bringing the right foot forward all the way. Keeping the back knee up, back heel up, and then with an inhale lifting up into a crescent pose. Take another breath here. As you actually can bring the back heel down for a variation, or maybe the knee down. Let's bring the hands to our heart, leaning a little bit more forward, so feel your abdominals fire. And then from here coming into a twist. So prayer twist, finding a lot of length. With your next inhale, opening up the arms, and then with an exhale coming back to your prayer twist. 2 more. Inhale, opening up the arms, exhale, hands together. Take 1 more breath. Coming back to center, with an inhale lifting up. Back to crescent. And then with an exhale coming back to a warrior or open up to a warrior 2. Grounding into your feet. Take another breath. Into a reverse warrior, reaching up. Take one more breath. Back to a warrior two. And then from here we reach forward into side angle pose. Any variation of side angle pose. So the elbow can stay on the knee. You can use a block, you can come down all the way. Feel like you want to bind, you know how to bind, please go ahead. Grounding into both feet. So can you ground into the outside of the back foot? Spreading all the toes of the front foot. And then with the next inhale, lifting up, back to warrior two. And then windmill the hands down, step back to downward facing dog. Either stay here, or if you like, go through a vinyasa. Moving with your breath. Take one more breath in downward facing dog. With your next inhale, lifting your left leg. Bringing that left foot forward all the way. Lifting up to your crescent pose. Any variation for the back heel or the back knee. And let's bring hands to the heart, leaning a little bit more forward. Taking another breath here. Grounding into the front heel. And then finding your prayer twist. Breathing. Either staying here or moving along. So with an inhale, opening up the arms. With an exhale, coming back, palms together. Two more with your breath. Take one more breath here. Back to center. With an inhale, lifting the arms. And then with an exhale, up into, open up into a warrior two. Soften the shoulders. Coming into a reverse warrior. Feeling the length you create on your one side body reaching up. And then back to warrior two into side angle pose. So any variation of your side angle pose. Finding external rotation in your other arm. Take one more breath. And with the next inhale, back to warrior two. Windmilling the hands down, back to downward facing dog. Maybe through a vinyasa, maybe staying in downward facing dog or coming into child's pose. So whatever you do, move with your breath, stay with your breath. So you're meeting all in downward facing dog. From here with your next inhale, lifting your right leg. Bringing the right foot forward all the way. With an inhale, lifting up into crescent pose. Exhale, open up into a warrior two. Inhale to reverse warrior. And then exhale into side angle pose. Then inhale, coming back to warrior two. From here, straighten the front leg, maybe shorten your stand, and then find your triangle pose. So reaching forward, and a new version of triangle pose. Try to stack the shoulders over the front leg, grounding into the front foot. Maybe you look up, maybe you look forward, maybe you look down. Take another breath. Then either stay here in triangle pose, or maybe you grab a block, maybe a little bit more back, and then from here reaching forward into half moon. So the block lands in front and to the side of your front foot. Here stacking the hips, having that lifted leg fully engaged. Extending into both arms. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you bend the lifted leg, grab the ankle, and then find a little bit of a back bend. So pushing the ankle into the hand resists, and then open up the chest towards the side. And then release. One more breath in half moon. Softening the standing leg, back to warrior two. Windmilling the hands down and either going through a vinyasa or staying in downward facing dog or coming into child's pose. Steady breath. From downward facing dog, with your next inhale, lifting your left leg. Then exhale, bringing the left foot forward all the way. Lifting up with an inhale into your crescent pose. Exhale, opening up into your warrior two. Inhale into a reverse warrior. Exhale into side angle pose. Inhale back into warrior two. And then from here, finding your triangle pose. So maybe shortening the stand a little bit, reaching forward. And then your version of triangle pose. So maybe the hips are stacked a little bit more. Maybe there's a little bit more of a twist. Notice how your neck feels. Will it give you a relief when you look down? Maybe you can look up for one breath. And then come back down. And then either stay here or grab a block. Lifting up again into half moon, second side. So reaching forward, stacking the hips. I actually need to come a little bit more forward so I have more space. So extending into both arms, reaching into the heel. And either you stay here or you come into Ardha Chandra Chapadasana. So bending the upper foot, the upper leg, grabbing the ankle, and then pushing the ankle into your hand. Opening up in a little bit of a back bend. And then release. Bend the standing leg. Come back to warrior two. And then maybe the hands down. And then go back to a downward facing dog. Maybe move through a vinyasa. Or stay in downward facing dog. Let's all meet in downward facing dog. Then with your next inhale, lift your right leg. And then let's come forward into pigeon pose. So right knee and behind the right wrist, walking the back leg a little bit more back. So here we're looking that the hips are leveled. Now if that's not working for you at all, your knee doesn't like it, come into a figure four. Gives you the same stretch without the pressure of your body weight on the knee. In pigeon, if you like, let's first come into broad pigeon. So scissoring the legs, finding engagement, lifting up. Spreading all the toes of your front foot, the back foot, pressing the tops of the toes down. And then any arm variation that works for you. And then from here, let's come down into resting pigeon. Keep the hips leveled. And in resting pigeon, you can either keep the legs engaged, or you choose more a yin approach, sinking into the hips. Take
Take one more breath.
Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, tugging the back toes under, lifting up. Downward facing dog, either walking the dog, maybe lifting that right leg, stacking the hips, so any movement that feels good. Maybe you draw a few circles with that right knee. And release the leg. And then from here, let's come into pigeon pose on the other side. So lifting your left leg, bring the left knee forward, walking the back leg a little bit more back, and then check in how your front knee feels, whether figure 4 on your back would be better. If you want to lift up, working on proud pigeon, scissoring the legs, hugging in, tailbone long, arms wherever they want to go, maybe they lift. And then from here we're coming down into a resting pigeon. Staying with the breath. Staying with the sensations that are coming up around your left hip. Take one more breath here. And then from here we're lifting up, bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, coming back to a downward facing dog. And then let's find another twist. So we walk the hands a little bit back, so we shorten the stance, the heels come more down to the ground. And then bring your right hand to the outside of the left leg, somewhere along. So maybe just below the knee, maybe a little bit more towards the ankle. And then look underneath your left armpit. So bring that right shoulder down. And then gently pull yourself here into a twist. So the heels come down. So the hips are fairly leveled. Take one more breath. Notice what's going on the upper right shoulder, upper right back. Release. And we switch. So the left hand goes somewhere along the right leg. And then gently checking in, how does it feel? Pulling yourself a little bit more into this twist. Finding a stretch for your left back, the shoulder. And we come back. From here, either now stay for 3 breaths in downward facing dog, or if you like, maybe you go through a last vinyasa. There's an inhale coming forward to plank. Then there's an exhale lowering chaturanga. Then there's an inhale lifting up into upward facing dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. And from here, let's bring the knees down. And then we turn around. We just find our way down on our back. So having the knees bent and just taking a breath, noticing how your body feels. We will do 2 rounds of back bends. So you're welcome to come into, support the bridge right away. So grabbing a block, pushing into the feet, lifting the hips, and then bringing the block underneath the sacrum. It's not going on the low back, it's underneath the sacrum. So maybe staying here. Or if you would like to work on an active bridge, walk your heels a little bit more underneath the knees, feet point forward, arms along the body. And then from here, pushing the feet down, lifting the hips up. You're welcome to use a block between the legs, or you're just imagining a block and squeezing the legs. Steady breath. Keeping a fairly neutral curve in the neck. And then to come out of your egg, bridge, bring your arms over your head, lift the heels up, and then slowly roll down all the way. Either keeping the block or releasing the block. And then for your second back bend, maybe you stay with your supported bridge, maybe you do another supported, or now a supported bridge, or you do another active bridge. Or if you know wheel, you know how to do it and want to do it, so please go ahead. For active bridge, grounding into the hands, grounding into the feet, hugging the legs. If you like, you can grab the outer edges of the mat, pull the mat apart, or interlock fingers and then press the edges below your low back and press the edges of the fist down. If you're in an active bridge and you like to add a little bit more strengthening for the legs, you can walk your feet a little bit more together. You can bring your right knee into the chest, lifting the right foot up. Try to keep the hips leveled. Bring the right knee to the chest, bring the right foot down, level your hips, and we switch. Left knee to the chest, the left leg lifts. You push into your right foot, hips stay leveled if they can. Bring the knee down and landing the left foot. Come out, release the arms, lift the heels, slowly come down. Once the hips are down, find your way into a windshield viper. So on your own timing, now maybe also coming out of the supported bridge. So the feet go wider, as wide as your mat is, and maybe your arms stay over your head. And then let's have the knees go from side to side. Finding a little bit of softening. Checking in how your hips feel, the low back. And here, if you like, maybe you come a little bit more into an arch. So the next time your knees are over on your left side, then that outer right foot presses down a little bit more and that right hip lifts up a little bit higher. Coming back to center and then coming over towards the other side. So the knees are towards the right, then you push into the outer left foot. The left hip reaches up, maybe a little bit more of an arching. And then you go from side to side. Maybe the head rolls towards the opposite side. If this is a movement that feels good, otherwise just do an easy windshield viper. To center. Let's bring the arms out in a T, the knees to the chest, and then either come into an easy twist, so bringing the knees over towards your right arm, the left arm out to the side. So if the left shoulder is lifted, you can, and it's a good thing, then when you feel a nice stretch in front of the left shoulder, you can let the arm hang. And if that doesn't feel right in your shoulder, you bring the arm in. And just the head turns around. Allow yourself to sink down. Notice how your body feels and softening the breath. So this is an inactive twist. So we soften the belly, breathing into the belly. And slowly we unwind. We come back to center. And then from here we bring the knees over towards the other side. And again, check in with the opposite arm. Is it good that the arm hangs? Can you draw the shoulder a little bit more down?
Or would you benefit from bringing the arm in? So make it work for you, any props you like to use. Allowing your body to sink into the mat. Finding a soft breath. Take one more breath. And we come back to center. If you like, you can come into a heavy baby pose. So grabbing the feet from the outside, the knees go wide. And then any variation. If your feet are all the way up and if your tailbone is all the way up, then bring your feet a little bit more together. That can help them to lengthen the spine a little bit more. Otherwise, keep the feet apart. If you want to straddle your legs, maybe one at a time, go ahead. Maybe both. You can also bring the legs together, the knees can be bent, and then wrap your arms around, the hands around the legs, pulling the legs towards you. Spinal forward fold. Maybe the head lifts up towards your legs. Maybe you roll back. Take another breath here. And release. And then prepare yourself for Savasana. So maybe you use a blanket to cover yourself. Bring the arms along the body. Maybe a pillow underneath your knees. Maybe the blocks underneath your knees. And then make fists. Tighten arms, legs, your whole body. And release. And one more. Making fists. Tightening arms, legs, your whole body, make faces. And release. And then soften your whole body. Let the feet roll to the outside. Soften your fingers. Soften your jaw. Keep the eyes closed. And then enjoy Savasana, the stillness in your body and in your mind. And I will call you back. Take a deep inhale and a long exhale. Inhale all the way in and hold your breath. And softly exhale all the way out. Bring movement back into your body. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes.
You can bring the arms over your head and then come into a full body stretch. Or if it feels good, you bring your knees to the chest, hug the knees and then curl up to a little ball. And always bend knees. Let's roll towards our favorite side. And then when you're ready, lift up to a sitting. Any sitting. And then check in how you feel. Taking a few breaths. So let's all exhale. And then fully inhale. Let's remember that we always have the choice to come back to our breath. Namaste. Alright. Enjoy the rest of your day and hope to see you soon on the mat.